Board of Zoning and Adjustments of the City of Decatur is now in session. Here before the Board of Zoning and Adjustments today, seeking special consideration to an ordinance based on special conditions where the literal enforcement of an ordinance will result in unnecessary hardship for you. There's been an error in the enforcement of the ordinance. It will require 4 favorable votes from the board to approve any request presented today. Please come forward when your name is called. State your name and address and what you would like this board to do. All cases will be called in the docketed order. Please call the roll.
Delane Dean.
Here.
Erica Huber. Tom Pope.
Here.
Chester Ayers.
Here.
Mark Moody.
Here.
Are there any corrections to the minutes of the last held meeting? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion approved.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Please call the first case.
Application and appeal of Jesus Delgado for a 9.5 feet front yard setback variance from section 25-10.92C to construct a covered porch 25.5 feet from the front property line. Property is located at 1308 19th Avenue Southwest in an R2 residential single-family district.
My name is Mardeli Gonzalez. My husband is the one that applied, but I'm also the homeowner, so I'm here, and he's stuck in traffic from work. I brought some pictures. I believe the last time he was up here, they needed pictures of what the porch would look like. I have those here as well. Can I hand those to you? Okay.
Ruth, she is not on the application.
You said you are a bidder?
Yes, ma'am.
If you think he'll be here, we can move it to the end of the,
I can try to get a hold of him with traffic.
he can be here.
Mm-hmm.
If you would prefer that he talk about all the
Are you comfortable presenting?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Chief Espousal and homeowner?
Yes.
Okay. Have to make sure.
Yes,
It's not
ma'am.
legal.
Oh, yes.
Legal
Yes,
counsel.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, questions from the board?
So it looks like the only change from the last time is you went from 10 feet to 8 and 25 to 20.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Problem I have is if you look on a map, all of the houses line up on all of those streets.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start building onto the front of them, you disrupt that line of all the houses lining up.
I understand. My biggest concern is I have 2 kids. And so that door gets so hot and that front part of our house gets so hot, I'm afraid they're going to get hurt. So I limit the amount of time that they go outside because I'm not always out there with them. So when they go to the door, they can't hold the door. They either have to use their shirt or they have to wait on one of us to go out there and open the door for them. So the porch, the way it is, it will cover the windows, which, will make our, where we eat and have all of our meals there. We're able to sit there and eat the meals, and also for them to come in and out of the house without us worrying about them getting hurt.
I wasn't here last time, so I'm not sure exactly what y'all discussed, but have you looked at awnings or something like that off, covering your windows and covering that door?
We did, but we would like to have something that's permanent so that we don't have to replace it if it gets damaged or anything like that.
I think there was a brief conversation along something along the size of a stoop, what I would call the traditional stoop. This is still a pronounced structure.
Okay. Again, I understand that, but it will help us with enjoying the house from the inside so it's not so hot in the summertime. We can't around the summertime, we can't use that part of the house because it gets so hot. The sun hits it right on. If you look at the windows, there's nothing that covers it. So the porch will take care of that as well. And then the door handle as well. Now, I'm sure that something was sent out to our neighbors about us coming here to, and I don't think that any of my neighbors are here to oppose us getting a porch.
The issue comes when the next neighbor wants to add a room onto the front of the house that sticks, you know, when you break up that line, it just opens it up to break up the line, for lack of a better words. I mean, I understand your issue.
And I'm not trying to build a room. I'm just trying to get a porch so my children could be safe and not get hurt with that door when it's hot in the summertime.
Any other questions from the board? Or comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
No comment.
Comments from the planning department?
I do agree with what y'all said, that it does break up the traffic in the neighborhood, and since they do have other options, I think those other options should be exercised.
Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Delane Dean.
I'm gonna have to say no.
Okay.
Erica Huber.
No.
Tom Pope.
No.
Chester Ayers.
No.
Mark Moody.
No.
You have not been approved.
Okay, so if we need to do this again with a smaller porch, is that something that we can do?
You can apply, I won't say as many times as you want,
Okay,
but, I mean, you can reapply with different options.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ready for case number 2?
Yes.
Application appeal of Pro Signs, Inc. for a 215.53 square feet sign area variance from section 25-77E1 to install updated corporate signage package for a new Taco Bell restaurant. Property is located at 2142 6th Avenue Southeast in a B2 General Business District.
I'm Ginger Hickey with Pro Signs here on behalf of Taco Bell, who is moving a couple of buildings down from where they are now, and they are updating to their corporate signage standards. We are asking for a variance of 215.53 square feet. I was here last month on a similar issue for another restaurant. And it is basically the art panels is what is putting us over on our signage. There are 2 on the right side elevation and 3 on the left side drive-through elevation. And those are 40 square feet each.
Do those get changed regularly?
No, they don't.
Are they permanent?
Yes, they are permanent.
Are they painted or is it an actual sign?
It's not a painted, it's an actual, just a panel.
Okay.
It's like framed artwork.
Yes. All right. Questions from the board?
With these, in the future, when it becomes necessary to replace them, what would they be changed out for potentially? I mean, I guess my concern is, could they ever become advertising?
They do not become advertisement. I mean, to my knowledge, this is across the board what we have, and we don't replace them.
But signs age and so forth, and eventually.
I mean, I can't tell you what they would replace it with if that happened, because that's not where we're at this point.
These art panels say Decatur?
No,
They're just graphics only?
they're just graphics only.
They say Taco Bell?
They don't. There is one that has the sauce packets that Taco Bell has with the little sayings on them.
could use it as advertising without approval.
Yes, and that's why I was thinking about a condition. They don't contain graphics.
It's not like a changeable, you would have to completely remove it from the wall to,
But I'm thinking about in the future, when maintenance becomes necessary, they can pop that off and put, Taco Bell, store hours, or whatever advertising.
okay.
And I think last month we kind of focused on it, the graphical nature, generic,
Yes, sir.
and that's what I want to stay focused on.
Okay.
All right, any other questions from the board? Comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
No comment.
Comments from the planning department? Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Did you say something?
I was wanting to put some type of constraint on the graphic. I mean, I know last month when we were considering the JAGs, that's what we kind of focused a lot on was the overage was a lot of it was just murals, for lack of better terms. I think one of them had Decatur on it.
Yes.
And actually, that caused me a lot of thought after that meeting. I just want to make certain these panels in the future, they stay.
And I'm fine with that. If, with our approval or sign permit we receive, I'm fine with having something in there that states no advertisement.
The condition that they remain,
Could I ask a sign question? Is an art panel, in calling it an art panel, is that going to be a picture type thing, not a sign?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
So I think the condition would be that it stays an art panel.
Okay.
And not a sign?
yes,
Is that?
I would just say an art panel without wording,
okay.
if you want to say that.
Yes.
So that it's clear what you mean by art. You know what I mean? Not
All right, so is there a motion?
Yes, motion to approve conditions of the art panel without any verbiage.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mark Moody,
Yes.
Chester Ayers,
Yes.
Delane Dean,
Yes,
Tom Pope,
Yes.
Erica Hoover.
you have been approved.
Okay, thank you.
The next case.
Application and appeal of Audie Newsom for a variance from section 25-21 to construct an accessory structure without a main structure for equipment storage. Property is located at the northeast corner of the intersections of Baldwin Avenue and Connor Street Southeast in an R3 residential single-family district.
you can announce it.
Yeah, Mark Moody recused himself from this one, so we do only have 4. You know, so do you still want to present, knowing that you have to have 4? Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Blake McAnally with Purite McAnally representing the Flint Church of Christ, and the applicants are here. This is a request to build a structure on a lot that they own down at the corner of Connor and Railroad Street in the Flint area. The church owns 5 or 6 properties in this area. They've been accumulating these properties as they become available. The main church building is on, is on Mill Street. And if you look at the sketch, it's up here on this very northern track that shows on our sketch, the north side of Chun Avenue. The south side, you can see depicted on the west portion of the 4 tracks they own there, a parking lot that was constructed several years ago. Chun Avenue is still a public right-of-way. So down at the south end of the lot, you see a 24 by 25 proposed structure. This is a prefabricated structure that would be placed upon a concrete slab to be poured there, should you approve this project. We've already been in conversations the church has with the building department, and they understand the requirements of the building department, have no issues with those. The zoning ordinance requires that by definition, this building is really an accessory structure. There's no other building on this property. So the variance we're asking for is to allow the construction of this outbuilding, and the purpose of which is to store yard equipment, mowers, and things of that nature. The church really doesn't have any space on the property to the north. They have they recently, in the recent years, built a very large addition and have another addition underway now, planning to build. So this is really the only place they have to do this. There's only one tract in the northeast corner of these in this block that they do not own. This building is not adjacent to any of those. So we're asking for a variance to allow this to be built on the property, having no other primary structure on the lot. Hardship for this is that Sean Avenue divides their properties. And it's, commonly the practice of the city not to vacate a right-of-way. So we're not asking to vacate the right-of-way. We're just asking for the right by variance to build this structure on the property as shown.
Questions from the board? So this building, what it sounds like, would not and could not ever be used for a classroom? I mean, so
it's unconditioned. It's a shed. It's an unconditioned space, yeah.
Do they have electrical?
Go ahead.
Would they have
Electrical, or no electrical or electrical in the building? No electrical.
No plumbing?
No. It's simply for lawnmowers and equipment like that to be placed in.
Or in this picture, what are these three?
I'm sorry.
In the top right corner.
Three
Top left corner.
sheds.
Those are some portable structures that are there now.
Yeah, they've been there for years, yeah, portable structures. Yeah.
And are they on the adjacent property
That's-
or they the church?
that's on the property that was recently vacated by the city to us.
There was an alley in there several years ago that was vacated. There was no alley there, but there was a right-of-way there, so it was unimproved. So these are portable buildings?
The portable buildings.
Portable buildings. Are they going to be?
One is for our ag emissions, and the other one is just storage, chairs, tables, and so forth.
Any other questions from the board? Comments from the public? Comments from the building department?
No comment.
Comments from the planning department?
Yes, I do want to say that we did come before the planning commission and got us to give a subdivision for that parcel that we're talking about right now, and they did get a vacation as well, and the vacation was approved by the city council.
Did you say that we could subdivide it?
Yeah, but it's a consolidate.
Consolidate.
Okay.
It's just all termed in the same.
That's the term, that's the term.
There was a property at the south end down here years ago that was vacated and, well, actually abandoned. And we did a year-long search trying to find an owner. Never did. And the church ended up acquiring that property. We consolidated those two into this western single piece.
All right, public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Please call the roll.
Tom Pope,
Yes.
Erica Huber,
Yes.
Delane Dean,
Yes,
Chester Ayers.
Yes.
you have been approved.
Thank you.
Ready for number 4?
Yes, sorry.
Application appeal of Robert Rainey for a 3.78 feet side yard setback variance from section 25-10.92E to construct an attached shed 4.22 feet from the side property line. Property is located at 208 Robinson Street Southwest in an R2 residential single-family district.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So I'm requesting a variance to,
State your name and address.
oh, sorry, Robert Rainey, 208 Robinson Street, Southwest. So I'm requesting a variance to extend the fence, the existing fence, to the front part of the property, not the front part, all the way, not all the way to the street, but the front part of the house. And to then 5 feet off of the fence to put in a shed that's used to house lawnmowers and lawn care equipment.
Is the house complete?
It's in the final stages of being complete. Right now, we're doing the flooring and drywall and painting. But I need the space, so that I can actually store like, boxes and the lawn care equipment.
All right, questions from the board?
There's no other storage unit on the property?
No.
Notice the detached building on the other side of the pool from the existing house. What is that being used for?
That is like a pool house. Not like, it is a pool house.
So there's nowhere else this shed could go, either attached to the pool house or to the back of the existing house?
Only if I was allowed to put in a garage, which is not possible, right? Because of it doesn't actually match the rest of the properties on that street. There's no other garages that are out front of the property.
You said you also wanted to move the fence? I didn't get that.
Not move the fence. So right now the fence only comes to the back of the property. The fence, and there's a pool right in the center. That's on the diagram. There's a pool right on the center of the property between the pool house, part of the house, and 5 feet off of that fence would be just a shed that's used for, like I said, for lawn care equipment.
And when you say shed, describe that to me.
So, you mean like the actual dimensions, or?
Or just what would it look like?
Oh, good question. So, the shed will look like a typical shed, but I'm actually investing more into it, right? Because what my neighbor is going to be seeing is vinyl siding. They're not going to see the traditional like backside of a fence for one, and nor will they see the shed, because the shed is like 5 feet off of the fence. So I'm adding like the extra expense of putting vinyl siding on the backside of the fence that actually faces my neighbor's property. So the only thing they will see looks like an extension of the property.
So, is it because it's going closer to the property line? Is that why it needs a variance?
Yes, ma'am. I believe it was 8 or 6 foot. Let's see what he has.
Yeah, it's like there's an 8 foot gap, actually 9 foot gap between my house.
Yeah, there's an 8 foot setback requirement. The distance from the property line to the house is 9.22. So the minimum setback's 8 feet for the side yard.
So it would put this 9 foot now,
And
supposed to be 8 feet. But this would put him a foot from the property line.
no, I believe I put in the agenda here the distance that it would be when finalized. 4.22 feet as an end result, so it encroaches 3.78 feet with an 8 foot setback.
And barring anything else in regard to the actual fence, if if I can actually just extend the fence line, and forego like the shed. I mean, because I do need the storage space for, for the lawn care equipment.
So you're saying, instead of a shed, if you could just move the fence? Is that what I just heard?
Well, no, what I'm saying is, barring being able to actually put in the shed, I would just actually extend the fence to the front part of the property. I'm not talking about extending all the way to the street. I'm just talking about where the house is, the footprint for the house is right now. Just extending the fence to.
Right, even with your front.
That is correct. Yes.
What are the rules on that? There's not any, is there?
He's not on a corner lot, so that's not an issue. I mean, we don't even permit it if it's 6 feet or less. If it's over 6 feet, we would permit it.
Over 6 feet, tall.
Yes, ma'am.
So he could move his fence to the front, to line up at the front of the house?
He could fence it, as long as he keeps his fence on within his property lines. He can put the fence anywhere he likes.
Sure. And the other reason is because, again, that's a pool. And I want to protect it from like anyone else get into the pool from the street, which is why I'm trying to actually extend the perimeter around the house where it actually, covers.
And I'd like to make a correction to that statement. You will have to permit this fence. It's because it's not a fence. It's going to be a barrier, a pool barrier. So you will have to comply with the barrier requirements in order to get your CO for the house.
Moving it up would not.
Wherever he wants to put his barrier, but I said, he doesn't have to permit the fence, but
Right.
what we're going to do is we're going to permit the barrier.
The way for the pool, you could move your fence, but because you have a pool, the fence has to follow.
Or change where we put the barrier. So that's something that I just want you to be aware of. In order to get your CO for the house, we're going to have to provide a barrier to protect the pool.
So you don't consider the fence as a barrier?
Not necessarily, no, sir. And I can explain that to you later in detail.
Okay.
It all depends, I think, on where it's at right now.
I'm sorry?
I think it depends on where the
And how
fence
it's
is
constructed, there's quite a few rules and regulations with
located,
that.
the height and the.
We can put a barrier directly around the pool and do whatever we want to the fence and don't have to permit it. But again, we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Other questions from the board? Comments from the public? Public left. Comments from the building department?
No comment.
Comments from the planning department?
Yes. It seems like there's multiple non-conformities associated with the parcel. Therefore, it's difficult to understand how fairness can be granted for a parcel that's already got compliance. And from his own drawing, he has it as an accessory dwelling unit that y'all have. And then he also has it online, and it seems like it's another dwelling unit. So it seems like we already have two dwellings on one parcel, two primary dwellings on one parcel. And that's not allowed. So I'm not understanding how we gonna keep allowing non-conforming on top of non-conforming.
All right. Public testimony is now closed. There being no further comments, this appeal is presented to the board for its ruling. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mark Moody.
No.
Chester Ayers.
No.
Delane Dean.
I'm going to say no, but I will say that what we're saying no to is your request for the shed. What you do with the fence and all of
Okay.
that, we'll go with the building department.
Yeah, that's fine.
For no from me.
Tom Pope.
No.
Erica Hooper.
So to clarify, I can extend the fence.
Yes, sir. You can put the fence anywhere on your property. You can build a fence anywhere on your property.
Okay, got it.
No covered structures. No other structures.
No what again?
No covered structures. A fence is just a vertical wooden fence or vinyl or whatever material.
Right.
No roofs on it.
Yeah.
It's just a fence.
Okay.
But you will need to get with the city about getting your approval for your barrier around your pool, which could be your fence.
Oh, yeah, that was a conversation that we're,
You need to come see us.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Before you move your fence, I would go see them and talk
Yes.
to them about the pool and the fence and all that.
This is going to affect this is going to affect you getting a CO.
Okay.
Okay? So just make a meeting with us, and Jonathan and I will sit down with you, and we'll discuss these items.
got it, okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank
So
you.
at this point, we need to remove the structure that's there,
Which structure are you talking?
the shed that you have started on.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to have to come down.
Yeah,
Okay?
okay. Well, I mean, it was never completed in the first place.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But we were at the point where you asked me the question, does it need to come down? And I said, well, let's go through the variance process. So it's a no, so we need to take the structure down.
Okay, got it.
Okay?
Got it, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Is there any other new business to discuss? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.
All in favor, say aye. Take us offline.